Hey there, welcome to another tutorial, Mr. Felix. Today, what I'm going to be showing you is how to make a stamp of your, just basically how to make a woodcut stamp, right? I'm not going to get too crazy with it. A woodcut stamp is a subtractive form of art, which means you take away material from the wood in order to make your design. A good showing of this is probably this one, right? They use this gouge to clean this wood or to take away from this wood, and they roll ink onto this in order to press it onto paper. The image will come out backwards. So if you have words, the first thing you should know about this is it's going to come out reversed, right? Whatever shows here and you put it down, it's going to come out reversed. It's not too hard to design for, especially using the Glowforge. What we're really using the Glowforge is as a tool to skip the whole carving process. Instead of having to carve an entire photo and chip away at a big block of wood like people have had to do in the past, we're actually using our tools and our technology in order to do it for us, right? You can see here, this guy had to take away from this to make these, they look like rubber stamps, um, like eraser stamps almost. And he had to take his time doing that. We don't really have to do that because we have the Glowforge. The Glowforge is going to do that whole process for us. And designing for that is quite simple. What we're going to need is a photo with a good amount of contrast. Um, remember last time we talked about contrast. Um, Last time I did this, I used this photo of a dog, and this is how it looked. I did make the mistake of not flipping this. Oh, I'm actually trying to flip the square. Flipping it this way, and the O, the S, and the A came out backwards when I printed it. So please, that's going to be like, I'm going to remind you like 4 times in this video or something to do that. So when we do printmaking, we're going to use 5x6. The reason we're doing 5x6 is because, oop, I forgot to change the inches. 5x6. Is because just like in printmaking, the 5x6 is like a pretty standard size. It looks nice. I don't know, 5x6 has worked out in the past for me. Also, when we engrave it, it might take forever if we um, make a really big 8.5 by 11, like a sheet of paper. It might take a lot longer than if we make 5x6s. Once you get really good at this, you can make a bigger stamp later. But right now we're just learning how to do the process, right? I'm gonna choose a photo. I have a bunch of photos here from other classes. I might choose one of these photos of graffiti. TDK, sure, why not? Trying to see if there's another picture, but that has a lot of contrast. Like I could see it from far away. I think this one probably has the most amount of contrast, and it's a good example of this assignment. It doesn't have to be graffiti, but it's just what I'm choosing today. Cool. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna center our photo. You saw how I did that with the the lines in the middle. I want them to show these 2 lines. That basically tells us we're right in the middle of our thing. And now we're going to have to do the same thing that we talked about in the last video, which is to do the effects, black and white, and then we might have to up the contrast, right? Highlights up, shadows down. I don't see a lot of changes in this one. Sharpen the details up a little bit, throw up the contrast. All right, cool. That would work for us to engrave it, right? However, whatever we engrave from the photo is actually going to be the part that it takes away material from the block of wood. So it's going to be completely backwards, right? I'm going to click on position and flip it. So now it doesn't even look like words to me, but this is what you have to do. And then we're gonna go on tones. We're gonna click custom, and you see how it changed it. This is a pretty cool tool that you can like use to do like cool effects or whatever. What we need to do is we need to make it look like this. We need the blacks to be white and the whites to be black, right? What's going to happen when we print this is that the ink is going to go on all of the white parts and the black parts are where it's going to take away material. So this is a really, it feels weird when you first do it, but then once you get used to it, you're going to be like, oh, that totally makes sense. Remember, I went to position and I flipped it horizontally. That there I can read it more or less. Those damn kids. Uh, and here you can't read it, right? Or if it's a photo of you, boom, you look almost the same, just maybe back a little weird. I don't know. To do that again, I went to effects, I went to tones, I went to view all, custom, and I made the shadows white and the highlights black. Um, and now all I gotta do is make sure that I put a square around me, around it, rectangle. Uh huh. Uh huh. If you make the rectangle exactly the same size as the photo, by the way, you might have this problem where the wood isn't structurally sound, right? Because we're using pretty thin pieces of wood. The wood might not be structurally sound enough to hold up to the process that we're going to be using, right? So what I encourage everyone to do is either make your photo just a bit smaller and keep it in the middle like that, or make your square just a bit bigger so it has this nice little border that remains untouched, so that way it holds some of its shape, right? And that is everything we need to do in Adobe Express. If we wanted to add text, however, I just putting it out there for the people who want to add text, you gotta make sure that your text is white. If your text is not white, it is gonna be backwards. So I'll show you Felix. And I'll use a cool font. Not that I would be associated with this graffiti artist or anything. I'll just put it like that. Hopefully this works. If this doesn't work, I already know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to download this as a PNG, download. I'll do it just in case it doesn't work, because I haven't actually tried that. I'm just assuming that some people are gonna want to add text, and then I'm gonna have to put the square back on. Don't, don't make the square have no fill, and we're gonna change the border to 2. And cool. If it doesn't work like this, we're gonna have to try it the other way. And remember, take the background off, or else it's gonna read it and it's gonna be ugly. And you have one more step. I will download it like this PDF, and then I'm gonna download it with the white background just so I can show you what happens if you don't listen. You're gonna and what to do, so you don't have to go back to this step. You could actually just fix it in Glowforge itself. Cool. Downloading. So Untitled 4, that's gonna be the one that please name your stuff. I know I'm not naming my stuff, but that's just because I'm not an illustrator. I don't really care about this stuff. But name your stuff. Name your stuff with your name. Julian 1, Julian 2, Julian 3, Julian Keychain 1, Julian Keychain 3, Julian Stamp 2. It just makes my life easier. All of these that say Untitled, I'm going to delete them because I'm just doing this to show you an example. So I'm going to upload Untitled 3, which should be Stamp 1, whatever. Boom. And I have those damn kids. Yep. Felix did not work. So I'm going to have to do one more step on that. But then I'm going to show you again what's going to happen. Is that number 1 or number? That was number 1. That was the wrong one. Oopsie. You see, this is why you can't. You have to put your stuff down correctly. There's a lot of time for an example of what not to do. It's fine. Um, I'll show you again later. So if that didn't work, all you gotta do is delete your stuff and then upload your image that has your. Oh, I clicked to open. Upload your image like this that has your text in it already. Take off the background and put the rectangle in. Okay. All right. Fill off order to, and now this will work. PDF. I try to open it here, and I opened Photoshop. Until one, I'm gonna name it stamp. Try to, or version 2, whatever you want to call it. Open it. Stamp. Try to. Cool. Goku's here. All right, and you see this one, it worked. Felix is in there as white. My thing is in here, and then when I print it, oh, Felix has to be backwards. I forgot to do that. So this Felix will, when I print it, it's gonna come out backwards. Um, it might work because of my name, but just invert the text that when you put it in, blah blah blah, black, whatever. Make the text white. Click off that, and then position revert H. If you don't do it, when you print it, it's going to come out absolutely backwards. And it looks weird, but trust me, when you print it, it'll look good. Cool. So, yeah, that worked. I'm going to show you still the thing that I was trying to show you earlier, Untitled 4, throw it in here. It's just how to fix the thing if you send a file and it has that background that was white. It's not gonna, you're not gonna see anything, right? It's all one big block. I'm gonna delete this. All right, I have my thing here. Cut, engrave, engrave. You can just click ignore, and now it'll ignore it and it'll print right. The other thing you can do is you double click it, move it, and delete it. Boom. You can also see Felix's for some reason still here. It's because we didn't do it right. That's annoying. And that looks right. So if I printed this, it'd come out when I. The next step to this is literally taking out, sending it to the Glowforge, pressing print, waiting 20 minutes for it to print, and then rubbing ink on this, and then rubbing the block of wood with ink onto a piece of paper. The other thing that I definitely recommend is actually go to engrave, and you see how it says draft photo? We're going to click that, and we're just going to change the number of passes from 1 to 2 and the lines per inch from 170 to 195. That's all we're going to do. And then you can save that and you can say stamp setting, stamp engrave. Or actually, don't do that. Just go to draft photo. All right, sorry. Yeah, just do that. Um, that's the end of this tutorial. Hopefully this assignment goes well. If you're having trouble with it, please ask a neighbor, talk to somebody around you. We're all trying to get through these assignments together because it's really hard and it's new things that you've never tried before. And these are the building blocks for us to do bigger and better and cooler things. Like some people spend hours and hours carving wood in order to do what we're going to be able to do in 2 class periods, probably. Yeah. So if you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat box or on Google Classroom, in a comment section of a YouTube video. Ask me directly, ask the people around you. There's a lot of different ways to get help because I know this isn't the easiest thing in the world. So yeah, let me know. Thank you.